you like to dance? I know a school where they teach dances. I could take you there if you'd like.
This week on Talking About the Movies, the world of John Wick gets even bigger with the first spin-off feature film of the series, this time starring Ana de Armas as the character from John Wick's Chapter 3, and a story that takes place between 3 and 4. This is from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. And welcome to Talking About the Movies, as we're continuing my 20-year celebration of me covering the biggest new releases of the weekend. We're starting a brand new month of movies off here, and we're starting off with a new installment in the John Wick franchise. Technically a spin-off, but it really does feel like it's a fifth John Wick movie. I'm going to explain more about that in just a little bit, but this is, from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. So in Ballerina, you have Ana de Armas, who stars as an assassin who's trained in the traditions of the Lasso organization, who sets out to seek revenge after her father's death. And you see all the different characters from the John Wick universe in here, including a lot of characters from previous movies. Lance Reddick, in his final appearance as Sharon, the head of the concierge of the Continental Hotel. Ian McShane, you see Norman Reedus, who was in the last movie. New additions include Angelica Houston as the director, Gabriel Byrne, and most notably, the most notable name in here is Keanu Reeves returning as John Wick, in what is essentially a cameo, but I'll delve more into that a little bit later on. But I've kind of talked about my thoughts on the other John Wick movies when I did John Wick Chapter 4, the review for that. If you want to go check it out, I'll leave a link to it in the corner. But this is, of course, based off of a character that was introduced in, I believe, Part 3. And in that movie, she was played by Unity Phelan, who was actually a ballerina, American ballet dancer. But she did not return for this one, of course, because they went for the slightly bigger name in here. I mean, Ana de Armas is a big name overall, but this is her first real opportunity to really see how big of a box office potential she could really have as a leading actress, which, I mean, I'd be more happy to see her do that, because she is a really great actress. I've seen her in a lot of great stuff. Knives Out, No Time to Die, Knock Knock, War Dogs, Blade Runner 2049, of course. I mean, a lot of great movies. I mean, she was nominated for an Oscar for Blonde, which she really was the best thing about that movie. Even in bad movies, like, what was the Ben Affleck one that she did, the erotic thriller, I think it was Deep Water is what it is. I had to look it up, but yeah, she's usually the best part of any movie she's in. She shows that she's got a lot of potential as an actress overall, and this is a chance for her to show what she can do as an action heroine. And overall, here it's complicated. I mean, this is a movie where she really is one of the best things about the movie. She proves she's more than capable of being a good action heroine in this movie. I think she does lead the charge in this movie overall to really lead to a lot of great moments in here. Just, this movie's really complicated to talk about here, because there's stuff I like about it, but there's a lot of stuff I didn't really like about it. So let's just do the positives. Like I said, Ana de Armas I think is great overall. The action sequences, they're top-notch. I mean, this is David Leitch's 87th North Company. I mean, this is the company that usually will do no wrong when it comes to the action sequences. They're the best at doing these very elaborate action sequences. In The Fall Guy, Violent Night, the John Wick movies, Bullet Train. I mean, even in lesser films like Bullet Train, these guys know what they're doing when it comes to creating great action overall. And I think they do a very good job of handling the action sequences in this movie for the most part. And they actually had to add more additional action sequences in here, because they wanted to boost more of they wanted to add more to it, so this thing had a little bit more of a boost to it instead of the version that they had out there. And it also I think it was because the writer's strike had just happened the year before that, and so that basically kind of screwed around with the filming schedule as a whole. They had a lot of stuff they had to reshoot. They actually added new stuff in here. They even brought back in David Leitch to direct those action sequences in general. I beg your pardon, it was Chad Stahelski, the other co-director, not David Leitch. I thought it was him, but I looked again on here just to make sure. But yeah, it is Chad Stahelski, who was one of the original directors on John Wick. And actually, he did the other John Wick movies in general, so it makes sense to have him on there as that. But yeah, this is a very interesting movie, because I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Overall, the setup is good. The visuals are very pleasing to look at. The action sequences, once again, are top-notch. The casting overall is good. There's a lot of good people in this movie. You have new additions, Gabriel Byrne, Norman Reedus, who was not in the previous John Wick movies. This is his first time in the series, but Catalina Sandino Moreno, Angelica Houston, and Lance Reddick Ian McShane is back as well. I mean, there are a lot of good people in here, but the real problem with the movie is that it comes down to a couple things. One, the story overall doesn't get going right away. It's a real slow burn movie, and a slow burn movie can work if you lead to a good payoff. And about 45 minutes in, I was getting kind of bored, but then at the 45-minute mark, it really did feel like the movie was starting to pick up the pace. Everyone was kind of thinking, oh wait, this is a John Wick movie. Let's go ahead and get into the action already. And sure enough, when that happens, the movie starts to go into high gear. It's where the film really starts to take off. And you think it's going off on a good pace here, but then it goes to the third act. And the third act, I gotta say, is very underwhelming. It doesn't really deliver a whole lot here. It kind of has an anticlimactic climax in general. Like, you expect to see something new and creative with it, but it just goes down kind of a routine route in general. There's nothing really about it that makes it stand out or do anything unique or spectacular. And it just feels like what happened here? Like, you were on a roll, you were finally getting going, and all of a sudden you just kind of petered out at the end. It's just like it doesn't make any sense at all. And this is not a long movie at all. It's just a little over 2 hours long. So, I mean, technically it is. I mean, it's not the longest, but I mean, it runs at a smooth enough pace where you don't feel like you're sitting there for a long period of time. But I think my overall biggest problem with the movie is the fact that John Wick is in the movie. And listen, I get it. John Wick it makes sense to have John Wick in here. Maybe have him like a cameo to kind of bookend this, because this is supposed to take place between the third and fourth movie, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read that, but the advertising and the marketing make it seem like Keanu Reeves is all throughout the movie. Like, he's at least a big supporting character in this movie, and really he's not. I mean, it literally feels like they're trying to set this off as its own spin-off movie, but they have John Wick standing there in here, marketing him as like he having this bigger, more prevalent role in here, and it really does not in general. Like, he really is not the main focus of the movie, and yet it feels like they're setting it up like he is in general. I mean, it's like it would be like it'd be like the equivalent of The Bourne Legacy if Jeremy Renner was the star of that movie, but then you see Matt Damon showing up in a much bigger role as Jason Bourne. Like, Matt Damon is in The Bourne Legacy, but only in pictures. Like, he doesn't not have a role in the movie, an acting role in general. But imagine if he did have a bigger role in there, and they put the marketing on him instead of Jeremy Renner, even though Jeremy Renner was just in the Avengers when that film came out. That's what that feels like with this particular movie. It really does feel like they're putting more emphasis on Keanu Reeves' character in this movie, and honestly, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do that in here. Like, I get, like I said, if you want to have him in there for like a small like little post sequence where he does show up and kind of sets the tone for the fourth movie in general, that makes a whole lot of sense. But here, it really did feel like that they were trying way too hard to push him as like a major part of the movie. Like, he's part of the reasoning that has to move the story along here, and he really is not. Honestly, I don't know. To me, it just felt like they just threw him in there because they needed a bigger name here, and Ana de Armas is a name, but Keanu Reeves is a much bigger name. But then again, it also doesn't help that the movie, the marketing overall for this has been kind of really bizarre and off. Like, Lionsgate, like, they really put this movie out there like they were afraid of it. Like, there was a big controversy before this a couple weeks ago where, you know, Lionsgate basically said to film reviewers online, hey, if you're going to write a bad review about this, we ask you to wait until the Wednesday before the release of the film. But if you write a positive review, it's A-okay to put it out there. And when a studio tells you to wait until the Wednesday before the movie comes out to start putting out reviews if they're negative, that's not a good sign. That's a sign that they're scared of the movie. They're scared of, they're scared of what the film is going to... They're scared the film is going to flop. It's not going to be a big hit. And with a director like Len Wiseman, who is very mixed as a director, this is actually the first film he's directed since Total Recall, which is easily his worst movie. And really, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not the greatest movie, but it's not bad enough where you have to literally tell people, don't say anything bad about it until Wednesday, because that's when you know, a studio knows that the film is rough and doesn't work. But here, like, I have no idea what they were thinking on that front there. It's just part of a bad stretch for Lionsgate right now. And I'll delve more into that on the Reviewer Network Live later today on the other channel. So if you want to go watch that, watch the newest episode there. But it's complicated here. I really don't know how to rate this movie per se. Like I said, it's not a great movie, but it's not a bad movie either. It's more of a disappointment because you expect quality with the John Wick movies. The John Wick films got better and better as they went along. All 4 movies each got better as the series went on. Like they got better storytelling out of them. You know, the whole thing about the series is that it got better with every single film. Like, it didn't just stop at one film and they just made a sequel just for the sake of it. When they made a sequel, they made sure to expand the universe, continue the story in general. So that's why I was more optimistic about this one, because this is technically a 5th installment in the series, even though it's a spin-off. And this is the first one where I really came out of a John Wick movie going like, wow, I'm completely let down by this. Even though technically it's not his movie. But, yeah, it's a complicated thing right now. I don't love it. I don't hate it either. My review for it is very much a very mixed bag of a reception. So yeah, my thumb is kind of in the middle, leaning slightly towards a positive, but slightly towards a negative. So just kind of in the middle for my review. A middle of the road review for it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just felt kind of underwhelmed by it, though. I feel like you'll be very disappointed by the results of it if you're coming out of this with high expectations. But I guess really the best things you should take away from this movie is that Ana de Armas has got a lot of potential as an action heroine. She really is the best thing about the movie in general. Like, she really stands up in this movie and really gets a chance to shine, and she really does make it shine in this film. Like, she really is the best thing about the movie. I wish the script had been a little bit better. I wish the script would have picked up the pace a little bit more, and I wish the third act climax would have been a whole lot better in general. Plus, less emphasis on putting John Wick in here. Like, I don't know, like, to me, that's the one thing that really bugs me about this. And that was something I was worried about watching the trailers and watching the previews going into it. It's just like, they're setting up John Wick like he's a major character in here, and he really is not. And that was something that I was very worried about coming into this, and lo and behold, my fears came to fruition in this one. So, not a great review, not a bad review, just meh. I don't know if I'm ever going to want to watch this again, unfortunately. It's a shame, because John Wick usually means quality, and this is the first one where I really came out of it going like, wow, that was not really that good in general, but maybe they can turn the tide with the 5th one, because they are making a 5th one in the series, the 5th John Wick movie, so, even though the 4th one kind of ended it, but they can find a way to bring him back, yeah, we're thinking he's coming back, but with all that said, that's my thoughts on Ballerina, from the world of John Wick. Do you agree with me? Do you think there's a lot more flaws to this one than the other films are? Am I being a little too harsh on this? Let me know down below. Let me know your thoughts down below. And of course, next week the big thing will be How to Train Your Dragon, another movie that I have my concerns about, especially considering that it's sounding like it's just going to be a shot-for-shot remake of the original. But hopefully it'll work out. I mean, if it can be as good as the Disney live-action remakes, I'd have no problem with it. But I mean, I have my concerns, but I'm not going to go in there ready to hate it. I'm going to give it a fair chance. So, find out my review on that coming up next week. But until then, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to hear what I had to say about Karate Kid Legends last week, check out the link in the corner. Check out the previous episode. Check out some of the playlist of other reviews I've done. And we will go ahead and leave you with a look at movies now in theaters. So until the next time I see you, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.